everyone, welcome back to Music with Ryan. For this week's free little lecture lesson, I want to do a cool little thing that I call the Sus4 trick. Alright, and you might see this a lot of times, if you're looking on some sheet music, and it's in all kinds of different genres of music, folk and rock and country and all, you name it, this thing is done all the time. And maybe you've seen this Sus4 or just like E4 or something like that, and you don't know what it means. So I'm going to give you a couple examples for almost all the chords here of how to use the Sus4 chord and kind of what it can create, the atmosphere it can build and create for you when you're playing. And going to add a little ornamentation to your playing as well. Okay. So again, this is just a free little lesson here. Sign up if you're not a free member at my website already. Sign up over here. You can be a free member and have access to a bunch of my stuff. But I try to post a new free lecture lesson every week. All right, so stay in touch. So the first one I want to do is E to E sus4. Okay, and I'm going to talk about why it's 4 as well. So the sus stands for suspended, okay, or suspension. You might just see it as E4, but essentially it's E sus4. You're suspending the 4 note of that chord over, okay? And it creates like some tension or suspension, that's what it So this is the E sus4. So there's our first example, E. And again, you can use this at the beginning of a tune, the middle of the tune, to kind of vamp on, or at the end, the outro or something like that. And so here, let's just do E. And if I want to make it a sus4, I add my pinky on the G string, 2nd fret. See how that creates that sound? And I kind of complete it or resolve it. Suspend it over, then back to E. So one of the examples I like to do is for the song Busted. It's a Johnny Cash tune. He didn't write it, but he kind of made it popular. A lot of people, Norah Jones, Ray Charles, have done this tune. And it kind of has that in the intro, and it's in 6/8, but it has that E to E sus4, and it creates a nice little atmosphere. I'll go a little under tempo. E sus4. I bet once you start to hear me do a few examples, you'll realize you hear it all the time in, again, all sorts of tunes. Another one I think is the Eagles' Not Take It Easy. Well, that's one of them, but not in this key. So I do it in 4/4, the title will come to me. That one. Is your skin so brown? But they do that. They E to E sus4. So that's so that's 2 examples right there. E to E sus4. So now how about G, of course. So I'm going to play my G like this. And a couple different ways you can kind of do it here, but I want to show what I think is best, or really gives it the sound. So this guy goes to 2nd fret D, 1st fret B. You hear that? It's almost like a C chord, right? Because the 4 of G is C. This is an E note here, but this is the C note. I'm adding an extra little thing here, but it sounds really good when you use both of them. But this is your 4 down here. So here we go. Eagles Take It Easy in the key of G. I don't know if my timing's exactly how they do that on the recording, but you get my idea. I'm just showing you a little trick. So you can kind of do that when you're just kind of, hanging out or vamping on the G chord. Instead of just staying on G, maybe add a little sus. You can do it all kinds of different timings. It can be quick, it can be long, you can make it a full measure, a half a measure. 2, 3, 4, 1, So we did G to G, G to G sus4. I'll do one more example, then I'll talk about why it's the 4, why 4, and what the 4 means. So let's just do A to A sus4, of course. So I think there's a Bob Dylan tune, Tangled Up in Blue. So however you play your A, you might bar it, you might do it like this. You can always catch the A sus, 3rd fret of the B. So that Bob Dylan tune, Tangled Up in Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all it is. And again, it's in, and there's another example of a tune that you hear it in all the time. There we go. Angled up in this. Was still red. But he always does this between every verse. Intro, mid-tro, I call it, and outro. And it's just one note different than the A. It's just one note different. The A sus. So why is it the 4? Well, without getting too complicated or talking about it too long, and some of these things kind of require an extra, a longer explanation, but we can think about it pretty easily, and it is if it's the 4 note of whatever chord you're on. So the fourth note of the chord. So if I take E and I count up E, G, A, B. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Whoopsies, sorry. A, 4, the 4th, okay? G, G, A, B, C, okay? It's a C note. We're adding a C note. That is the 4th. With A, B, C, D. We're adding a D note. So when I play the A and I get A sus4, that's a D note. E, that's an A note. What about a D chord? That's a really popular one. People do it all the time. So this D sus4 is what note? It's a G, okay? And that G is right here. It's the free falling. It's the Tom Petty free falling. He does an F. But he cables up 3rd fret and does it out of the D position. Pretty sure anyway. Okay? That's the sound of the sus4. That's a really popular tune. So if you can kind of think about that intro, that's the sound you hear, the texture of the sus4. So that's the D, the A, the G. The B is a little trickier. People do it on electric. It's a big reach. You got to get up here. But the 4th of B is E. Okay? It's a big reach. Not recommended for acoustic guitar really in that setting, but yeah. So those all I can do. And lastly, I'll do C. The 4th of C is F. Okay, so if I add my pinky on the 3rd fret of the D, and I might bring this down too to the 2nd fret, kind of like the G to C, the G to sus4, G sus4. I go C to C sus4. I kind of bring in that F. If I add the 2nd finger. That effect. So people use it all the time, and sometimes they do it not necessarily they play the whole chord, instead of just, you could really kind of play the whole chord. You could just do the 4. Now it sounds a little bit more complete when you go to that C chord, of course, because it's an actual C. But you know, those two things, if you see someone doing G to C, you could do, like, you know, as a quick little vamp, you could just do the G to G sus4. And to me, it gives a little bit more suspense, a little more tension. I like the way it sounds. It depends on what the song is calling for, but it's a cool little trick. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to pass that little sus4 trick along. Again, if you're a member, you can make a comment on the page, a question. You know, let me know what you think. You know, if you want me to expand upon this idea or whatever. But members, yeah, make a comment. If you're on YouTube watching this, make a comment. Let me know. Make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube. But yeah, I think that's it for the sus4. I wanted to show you. It's a cool thing. Listen for it. Hear that texture. That take it easy. You know, that's what it sounds like. Okay? Cool. That's it. Again, sign up for free lessons right over here. Click this button. Access my free library. Come out with a new one every week. It's growing all the time. So that's all I got to say. All right, take care.